Right, like a lot of my videos, this is just me thinking out loud. But I've got an area here which is my little goldfish pond, and it's a bit uninspiring. So it is sort of an open area between Phoenix canariensis, which is putting on some decent size, and we've got like a Washingtonia robusta that side. So I was looking to make this a little bit more interest in this area, and thinking about it. And as I've mentioned in a previous video, I'm shutting down my big koi pond, but I still like to have a bit of water in the garden for wildlife, and I do like the fish. So I was looking to sort of redesign this area, and my thoughts are, well, at the moment what we're looking at is just literally, it's only about 3 foot wide, and I don't know, maybe 10-12 foot long. So it's a real basic shape. Like I say, it's not very interesting to look at, and it's not overly deep. It's only about 2.5 foot deep at the deepest, and then half of it is only about a foot deep. But regardless of that, what I'm looking to do is I'm going to take all this out and redo a pond area, so I don't mind coming out a bit further. So what I'm thinking is a U shape coming out here, which will give me a big planting pocket sort of in the middle of this, at the moment, pretty much open, barren fence area. What is this time of year? Obviously we've got the grapevine that comes across here in the summer, and that's a nice green backdrop. I'd like a sort of big plant in there, and me being me, it's got to be a palm, obviously. So thought I'd throw it out to see if anyone's got any suggestions. I'm going to need something that's pretty hardy, but something a little bit different. I don't want a repeat of stuff, a lot of stuff I already got. Obviously like your Trachycarpus, and like I say, we're between a Robusta and a Canariensis, which will still grow and sort of fill in this area a little bit either side, but I'm still gonna have that nice sun pocket in the middle there. So again, this thinking out loud, I've got several sort of more unusual palms, sort of small specimens at the moment, but when you get them in the ground they do grow, and some of them may be a little bit I won't say optimistic, but maybe sort of a trial palms for the UK, because they're not always used readily. But I'm thinking either a sable. I've got a couple of sable riversides, which are supposed to be one of the hardiest sables, truncan. So that could be an option. Well, I've got some Livingstonas, but the problem with them is they don't really like full sun when they're small. So I've got Livingstona chinensis, which is not going to appreciate full sun when it's small. Livingstona decora may take a little bit more sun, I'm not sure. And then we've got the Australis. So I'm thinking they're probably at the size they're at and not going to appreciate full sun. So that takes me back to the sable riverside. I have got some standard sable palmettos, but they're a little bit smaller. The riverside has already got, starting to develop some sort of palmate leaves on it, so they're coming on. I think they'd appreciate going in the ground. So that is my thoughts. I mean, in an ideal world, I'd say we'll put in a Butyagarus, mule palm or something like that, but you just can't get hold of them at the moment in the UK. It's near on impossible, unless any of you know different. yeah, I mean, the other thought is I have got some couple of queen palms, which are the mountain form, which are a little bit hardier, but still I don't think they're going to appreciate the long winters we get in the UK. So that sort of leads me back again to the Sable Riverside. I mean, I can't off the top of my head go through all the sort of smaller palms I've got in pots which would be suitable, but please, if you've got any ideas of something that is possible to get hold of, and something a little bit different to your standards, you know, the standard stuff you get, like your Camerops Humulus and Trachycarps, and like I've already said, I've already got a couple of palms either side, so I'm not going to start putting more of the same in. So I want something a little bit different, but something that's going to get to a good size, and something that is readily available. So if you've got any ideas, which, you know, something I haven't already mentioned, which is going to be achievable to get hold of in the UK, then yeah, please message me. But yeah, so the idea is, like I say, I'm probably going to have like a U-shape pond. I may well, at the minute I've got a bog filter this side of the pond, so I may well move the bog filter over to the other side. So, like I say, the U-shape, then we're going to have that big planting pocket there, and I'm obviously aware that this is going to be pond liner, albeit, you know, I'm going to use the good Boutlay pond liner out my koi pond, but, you know, roots can penetrate pond liners, especially obviously tree roots, but I know palms are not actual trees as such, and their roots are not, you know, they're quite soft, and they're not so concerning as, you know, actual tree roots, which are going to be more woody and possibly pierce liners. But what I can do is I can put a barrier around that area, so it's not going to affect the pond liner, so I'm not really concerned about that. I do find with palm roots as such, I know a lot of people do pretty much, you know, plant them right on the boundaries of buildings and whatnot, and that doesn't really cause a problem, because, like I say, the roots are not invasive. They'll work around things rather than sort of try and push through them. But that's a different subject altogether. So yeah, it's going to be a decent size planting pocket, maybe I don't know, 4 or 5 foot circular area for the main palm to go in, and yeah, obviously I have a few small plants around it, and then the rest will be sort of bog plants. But going back to the Sable Riverside, I mean, just the name of it, Riverside, you know, next to water, just seems to fit. But again, please feel free to come up with any ideas or suggestions of what you think might work in this area. So this is a full sun situation, and you're going to get reflection off the water, so that'll probably be fairly humid in the summer, but we've got the UK winters to contend with, so it's got to be something that's pretty hardy, or something that's going to stand a chance of surviving the winter. And I don't mind something that's going to need protecting for a year or two when it's small, until it sort of fills out a bit. But yeah, so that's my thoughts. So this is a project that I'm not going to be doing obviously till spring next year while it's still cool. So obviously the fish are, at the moment, they're still feeding, but they'll be going dormant pretty soon. And yeah, I just want this area to look a bit nicer. Like I say, it's a bit basic at the moment. I mean, the idea was to have like almost like a small river coming down a garden here, and then I've said before, I've got sort of sunken aquatic planters, and then we've got a bridge, and then another sunken aquatic planter there, so it's sort of, the river sort of winds round here under the bridge and sort of terminates at that point. So I am leaning towards the Sable Riverside. Again, if anyone's had any experience growing them in the UK, I wouldn't say all similar climate, because the UK has got pretty much a climate of its own. I always hesitate to say a growing zone for the UK is a bit different to the US and maybe other countries, but basically we're looking at around 8B, 9A sort of growing zone. We don't get too cold in the winter, but we do have long, wet winters. So again, just sort of me thinking out loud, but it is an area I want to improve, and the circumstances are I'll have an opportunity to do that. So yeah, feel free to message me any thoughts, or any palms, again, which are, I wouldn't say readily available, something like is possible to buy and get hold of and try for a full sun situation. Right, we'll leave it at that. Thanks for watching.